Alright, so what's on the agenda for today? I've got some Jasper here. I think that's what they call it. And these are pretty big pieces. And whenever you see me working a big piece, it means I spent some money on it or I have a very generous friend. In this case, I've spent some money on it. And it's turning out to be well worth it. So I'm gonna spall this because I've already spalled some of the coastal plains chert that I have spent money on, but I haven't really messed with this too much. Let's see. It's very interesting stuff. I gotta make sure. It looks like it'll nap beautifully in a raw state. I gotta make sure I don't lose that piece right there. Now how do you reduce something like this that's very chaotic looking or clunky looking? Let's see. There's no set rule except attack the hardest part first if you can figure out where the hardest part is. It's all really difficult. That's why I chose this piece. This one is much easier. It's already been spalled down a little bit or biface down. Yep. So that's not going to be difficult. This one is hefty. It's got a lot of material. I just got to learn or find a way to spall this down to maximize it, right? Everyone wants to maximize. Ooh, that's nice. And they want to maximize for a good reason. If you spend good money, you need good flakes. You need good bifaces. All that's going to be fantastic. Yeah, fantastic stuff. I think I'm liking this a lot. Yeah. Even though it's got issues in it, many times it's got like pockets and cracks and concrete and not concrete but like limestone in it within the chert, limestone pockets. Instead of just having a limestone cortex, it has limestone pockets in it too. Yeah. But the color and the nappability is what I like. It naps well. I don't have to keep maintaining the aluminum. The aluminum is able to spall this even when it gets really rough, which is unusual because a lot of the Texas cherts are picky about what you hit them with. They don't like you to use a really rough surface on the aluminum or copper or whatever. But this stuff, it doesn't care. It kind of likes it. Yeah. I can get good flakes. That'll be a challenge, but I can still get an arrowhead out of it. So nice. My goodness. And we can get it. I can get it fairly easily. This is not exotic from Indonesia or something. Yeah. As far as I know, it's from Georgia. Anyway, I lost some length on it. I'm trying to get spalls, good flakes, and at least one good biface. But I need to take the turtle back off. The problem with taking this turtle back off is that everything is convex around it. I need something that's a little bit concave so I can start scooping at it. See, I can't hit this to go that way. I gotta scoop something out. But scooping it out, I'll lose length. You know what I'm saying? I'll lose part of the length if I hit here and scoop it out. But I might have to do it that way. There's no good place to hit it to scoop out an area where I can start driving flakes that way. Let's see if I can maybe drive flakes this way first. Yeah. Hit right there. Pop that right off. Now it's got issues, like I said, but around it, that's some beautiful material. Around those issues, around the outside, it's good stuff. I think, anyway. Now the auction went well today, except there's still issues with people not able to access the comments or something, right? They can't seem to be able to bid, and that bugs me. I don't know what's going on. And then, you know, I tell during the auction video, if you have any trouble, just email me. Well, he emailed me, it didn't go through. It doesn't go through until later. And I checked to see if I get notifications by email. Nothing. So it bugs me that with my luck, I'm not able to get in touch with certain people that are having trouble with posting comments to the auction or bids to the auction. And there's no reason for me to intentionally keep you out of the auction. There's got to be something that's interfering with your ability to comment. I may have muted you accidentally. It might be possible. I could, you know, I've been known to hit the wrong button on a reply, but I don't think I've hit the wrong button to mute or something like that. But it's possible. If I did, that'll be bad, and I apologize if that's what happened. I wish there was a way, I don't know, some of you guys might know if there's a mute list or a block list on the channel that you can access to see who you've blocked or muted, to see if you've done anybody by accident. If there is, let me know. I don't know if there is or not. There's no reason for me to keep anybody out of the auction. There's absolutely no reason, unless you haven't paid or something like that. Something simple like that. It's pretty straightforward. If you bid on something and you haven't paid or you don't intend to pay, by the time the next auction rolls around and you start bidding, you know, I might not like you to bid because you haven't paid for the last item. That's never happened, by the way. All my bidders have been awesome. Yeah. The only time I had trouble with bidders is on eBay. Yeah. And I was warned. They told me don't use eBay. But there I go. I used it. Because I said, how bad can it be? Yeah, some of the bidders are not that cool. They know how to game the system. Yeah. So anyway, that was bugging me earlier a lot. That someone can't bid or comment. There's no reason for me to keep anybody out of the auction, except for what I just said. Unless you're trying to game the system somehow. But that's never happened. We've never had to do that. So yeah, I can get some good flakes off of this. There is internal cracking. A lot of times the prettiest material will be the worst material to work with. This one is not quite as good as the butterscotch looking stuff. Yeah, it's not quite as good as this. Although this is kind of swirly. Where's the butterscotchy? This stuff still has issues, but not quite as bad as this. Let's see what I can do. I'll reduce it the rest of the way. It's got a crystal pocket here. Those are usually pretty easy to get rid of. This knaps very well raw. I forget the name of it. If someone told me, I forgot the name. Yeah. I'm going to try to get rid of that crack. I'm striking this way so I don't go this way or that way and run into it and cause a step fracture or a big old hinge. See if I can get under it. Yes, got under it. See that? There's a crack there, but no crack there. That's what I mean by getting under it. So yeah, it's good. Beautiful. Now it started out as a big old spall, didn't it? Big old fat thing. But I got some other flakes off of it that I can do stuff with. Yeah, and I don't even have to heat treat this stuff. I mean, it's not all that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe 10 small arrowheads and then three at little dart points. At least maybe 4. Maybe 5. Let's see. That's 5 at little dart points. 6. And then arrowheads, you got 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are kind of small. Yeah. Small and curved and got stuff in them. Alright, so whatever that was. Those are the ones I'm saving. See, I don't save these that are way too curved. I don't save those, even though they look cool. Now, back in the day, I mean, I have seen artifacts that curved. You know, arrowheads that are really, really curved. They could be pendants. Because, yeah, they used to wear pendants. They used to wear pendants back in the day. Oh, yes. So maybe the curved arrowheads were pendants. Because they don't work right if you shoot them from an arrow. Or put them on the arrow point. They don't work right. If they're really curved. Excuse me while I clean up this area a little bit. All right. Let's see. Should I make it a rock to point video? Yeah, a long time ago I gave up the idea of preserving certain areas of the snow. I just look to see what I can make out of it, and if it happens to include some cool looking stuff, then it includes some cool looking stuff. If not, oh well. Sometimes I'll try to preserve some cortex, but not usually. Sometimes I'll work around a hole and try to keep the hole within the workpiece, but not usually. Arrowhead flake. See, I want to try to get rid of that. At the same time, maybe I can get some arrowhead flakes. In this case, I hit way too hard trying to get that. So I got the arrowhead flake. But yeah, I hit too hard and snapped it. This is that little dart point. So is that one. Let's see. What do I do with something like this? Actually, I was bifacing stuff that looks like this earlier. Yeah, that's much easier to remove these little arrowhead flakes from this material than that one. Yeah, this is a little more cooperative. And it doesn't snap as easily in half. And this can be heat treated. It changes its color somewhat, becomes a deeper orange or amber color, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it's much easier to get these arrowhead flakes from this particular type of material than this one. Let's see, which one should I work on? This one's harder. Did I get in the way of the camera? Yes? No? I'm growing a little beard. Yeah. Kids call it a chin beard, but I call it lazy. Lazy beard. Sometimes I wear a scarf, and when I get in front of the camera, the scarf dangles and it looks like I've got long dark hair or something. I noticed that in a couple of videos. Why would I wear a scarf? Everyone teases me around here if I wear a scarf. I go back up north and no one says nothing. Nope. This must be a cultural thing. Yeah. Same with Flintknapping. There's things that people look at you funny when you do it. And Flintknapping, it's a cultural thing. Does it affect your Flintknapping? Oh yes. That's how culture affects Flintknapping. It doesn't make any sense. It just looks, you know, some people think that certain techniques look funny or stupid, so you don't do them. And there's no reason to not do it, and every reason to do it, except you don't want to because it looks funny. Yeah. I had one guy comment that I pressure flake in a very strange way. This was a while ago. I'm not sure if he was confusing the indirect percussion for pressure flaking or if he just genuinely thought I was pressure flaking in a weird way. I don't think I pressure flake in a weird way. Yeah. Let's see. I just go like this. I change it up. I do it this way, or I do it this way, or I do it this way. You know, I do sometimes put the little pad on my knee or my leg and nap it this way. Sometimes I nap it like that. Sometimes I nap it like this. Is it weird? I don't know. You usually don't have to worry about looking weird or doing weird stuff unless you're being bugged by one of those people that we won't mention. Right? Yep, we don't mention. There's certain unmentionables that we don't mention or try not to. And then some of you are going to say, yeah, since when? You're always making fun of the antler people and stuff. Yeah. I didn't want to mention it, but now that you mentioned it. Yeah. Anyway. I used to get a lot of weird looks when I started doing this thing behind the knee. Never seen that before. I can't argue with success. That was the line. That was the line. I never seen that before, but I guess you can't argue with success. You know, I'm thinking, why argue? In the first place, why are you arguing? Yeah. Is there some sort of pre-existing Flintknapping culture or something that causes you to argue about certain things? Little did I know that the answer to that question is, oh yes. Little did I know. I knew so little about everything back in the day. Clueless. If something was happening back in the day, I was the last one to know. Oh yes. Back in the day when I first started, which is, you know, people have been napping for like 40 years when I first started. So it was old stuff, you know. Nothing new under the sun for those people, right? Till guys started showing up napping in funny ways. Yeah. Never seen that before. I started using aluminum. What is that? Is that aluminum? Never seen that before. Well, there you go. Now you see it. Now you know Now you see it, now you know. Do you like it? Most of them get their arms crossed and stuff. Yeah. Cross their arms and... I don't know. One of their buddies says, you know, that's kind of cool. And the guy looks over to his buddy. Nods his head. No. That's not cool. No. You aren't to acknowledge that, okay? It gives them a look. You are not to look at that and think it's good. Don't look at it. Why do some people do that to other people? I would never do that to one of my buddies. I'd never go, don't look at that. That's not something for you to approve of. No. Don't look at that. Or nod my head and go, no. I would never do that to one of my buddies. If he thinks it's cool, it's cool. Yeah. Apparently, in some circles, there's this some unwritten rules. Oh, yes. Why do I think about that kind of stuff? Because I got all upset that someone couldn't bid in the auction. So now I'm all ticked. And everything that ticks me off is starting to come out. That ticks me off when there's some sort of cultural peer pressure involved in who does what in napping. Ticks me off. Yep. Mm-hmm. Then I talk some smack and I feel better. Ha. I feel better already knowing that this is going to be in that little dart point. Yeah. I don't like the journey that got me here, but I like it now. Yeah. That was not easy. But I like some of these turtlebacks that came off. Yeah. Can't use it though. Can't use that flake, but it was cool. You might say, well, isn't that flaking part of the journey? No, because when I was doing the flake, I was nervous and worried I was going to break the whole thing. I like looking at it when it's already done. Like right now, I don't like this part where I'm going to hit this and it might break. I don't like this part. I like this part where I go, ooh, that did what I thought it was going to do, or I hoped it was going to do. I like this part. This is the part I like, looking at the result. I don't like sitting here going, oh man, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to this? So is that part of the journey when you look at the result? Is that the journey? You might say, well, step by step it is. You know, you do step accomplishment, step accomplishment, step accomplishment. All these little steps in accomplishments is the journey. You know what I say to that? No. This is when I look over to my buddy and I go, no. I don't do that. I can joke about it, but I don't do that. I'm thinking, well, yeah, it could be part of the journey. That if you just enjoy the step-by-step progression of successes, but to me that's not enjoying the journey, because you're looking at the result. You don't know if it's a success unless you're looking at the result, right? That's the way I look at it. Yeah. Now there are some people who look at just the generating of a good idea is, oh, that's going to be great. It's already a good result. Just the good idea in itself is the good result. Yeah. You've known people that are like that, right? Hope you have. Such a good idea. Yay. Let's celebrate the good idea. Yay. Yeah, but did it work? Who cares, man? It was a great idea. And we can raise money on good ideas. Yeah. I got some good ideas. You want to help me out? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's an excellent idea. I'll give you money for that. Anybody else want to give me money for this good idea? Yeah, well, I'll give you money for the good idea. And later on, did it work? I don't know. I don't know where he went. Where did he go? We assume it works, okay? Let's just assume it worked and everyone's happy. Yeah. I wish. I wish it would work if you just assume it worked. But there's too many good ideas that don't work. Yep. I was looking at a TikTok or Instagram post, and it says like Generation X and boomers are the last generation to know what it's like to live without cell phone, to know what it's like to live without remote control on the TV, to know what it's like not to be able to punch the microwave to cook hot dogs and stuff in under 30 seconds. To life without a microwave oven. Life without air fryers. What did you do before memory foam mattresses? What did you do before all that stuff? I remember life before all these things. Before Greek yogurt was popular. Before thousands of flavors of Starbucks or whatever it is. Before Starbucks. Yeah. Before artificial sweeteners. That's a big one. Coke didn't have artificial sweeteners when I was little. Neither did 7-Up or anything like that. It was the Uncola. The Uncola. 7-Up. The Uncola. Loaded with sugar and not good for you, but it was still pretty cool. Yeah. They had that guy from Trinidad or wherever he is from on the commercial. Anyway, I remember when we did not have color TV. And other people did, but we didn't. Can you imagine watching all your shows in black and white? All of them. Yeah, yes. Some of you emo people will go, yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I wish it's just too much color, just too overstimulating, you know. It's not that great watching everything in black and white. And what's funny is you dream in black and white. You dream in what you watch. Right? I don't think I dream in black and white anymore, but I remember that I used to. I dream with all kinds of colors and music and stuff nowadays. But before, when I was little, it was pretty much black and white. Anyway, before video games, all this stuff. What did we do? What did we do before video games? Although they had primitive video games, and I did get a video game for Christmas one year. My mom bought me a video game, and you played like hockey, where this thing would ding, 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 and you would have these little paddles that go up and down on the sides, and the little ball would go boink, 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 and you would just, it'd be like air hockey, right? Except on a computer screen. Yeah, you guys don't know what air hockey is, or whatever it's called. We used to play foosball. until the air hockey came out, and we started playing that. And we played pinball machines if we had money. Sometimes we would just give our money to one kid that was really good at it, just watch him play the pinball machine. He'd get free games, and we could just all watch someone else that was skilled do something that looked awesome. Kind of like the Flintknapping. But anyway, that's what we would do. We'd give him the quarters, and he would get all these games. And if he felt generous, he got a free game. He would say, okay, now you try. See if you can get a free game, and you let someone else try. Of course, we couldn't give free games because we're not that good. But anyway, that's what we did. How do we talk to each other? How do we get together? How do we know, to get together? We didn't have no flash mobs. We would just knock on people's doors. Hey, dude, you want to come outside? No, your mama not gonna let you. And you can hear the mom in the background. Don't let those boys tease you. You can't go nowhere. You got homework. Yeah, dudes, I got homework. We'll just come by tomorrow and bug you. Yeah. We got all day. I mean, we ain't got nothing else to do. We could just come over and bug you. You gotta knock on someone else's door first, though. Yeah, I'll be right back. Or we'll be back tomorrow. We can bug somebody else, and we just go off and knock on people's doors. See what they're doing after school, before the sun goes down. You get out of school, the sun's still up. You go walk around the neighborhood when the sun's still up, and you knock on people's doors, and you get them to come outside, and you say, look, man, guess what I got? What do you got? I got a slingshot. Man, where'd you get that? I'm not supposed to have that. I know. I know I'm not supposed to have it. That's why I brought it over. I'm not going to shoot this at my house. You got a big yard. We're going to shoot it back there. Yeah. No, I can't shoot it here. We got to go down to, where the old railroad track is. Because there's nothing there anymore. It's just a bunch of weeds. We can shoot weeds. Shoot little rabbits and stuff. Out there where there's abandoned buildings and stuff. Yeah, let's go over there. Abandoned buildings. How many kids these days have been inside of an abandoned building? Other than on a video game. No, I don't know. How many kids have spent the whole day walking railroad tracks that are not used anymore? Whole day. Just walking on the tracks, and once in a while you'll find a flattened penny on the tracks. And you go, I claim it. That's mine. That's my flat penny. Oh, dang it, man. I missed it. What's a flattened penny? You put the penny on the railroad track when the train comes through. It flattens it. And there was some parts of the rail that were still used. And you would put little pennies on it. And when the train comes by, it flattens the penny. You don't know when the train's going to come by, so you can't be sitting there watching. You put one on there and then come back next day. See if it flattened. What would you do with the flattened pennies? Nothing. You just go, look what I got. What do you got? I got a pocket full of stuff. Yeah. We didn't search through pictures on Instagram. We searched through pockets. What do you got? What do you got? What'd you pick up today? What'd you find? Sometimes they would say, I found $5 in my mom's purse. You found it? Yeah, I found it. I don't think she knew she had it. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, we know what it's like to live without all that stuff. It's not all that much different than these days. What's different these days? I'm trying to think, what is actually really, really different? One of the things that's really, really different is the ability to carry music around with you. You know, they went through the boombox stage where you would carry around your boombox. But now you can carry around Bluetooth speakers and you can play stuff off your phone with the Bluetooth speakers, and they're pretty good. You can, everything's solar powered, right? You can get items with solar panels on them. Back when I was little, solar panels were like brand new technology or something. They only use those on spacecraft. But now you can have a solar panel just about on anything. The lawn lights have solar panels on them. You know, stupid lawn lights. The ones you mow, the ones you run over with your lawnmower these days. Lawn lights, or whatever you call them. Anyway, I'm trying to think of something really, really different. The music, carrying the music around is very different. Access to games, video games. Being able to talk with someone long distance. We used to have walkie-talkies. But now, you know, cell phones, you take it for granted that it's such a small device. It is. It's a really small device, but you can talk anywhere in the world with it. It used to be where you had to carry around a bulky walkie-talkie to talk to someone just down the block, just a few houses down. Unless you had a CB radio, or your dad had a CB radio, then you get on there and you can talk to somebody in another neighborhood. But yeah, we couldn't just dial up and talk to someone that's down there on the other side of the bridge or under, you know, far away. Just call them up. You go, hey, isn't that Joe over there? Just call him up. Call him up. We couldn't do that. We had to go, hey, where you at? Where's that? And then do signals. Come over here. We're going to go run over to that place. Then you would go, no, I don't want to do it. Come on. And you'd signal. Yeah. I actually learned signaling in Boy Scouts. Where you can take flags and you can make different letters with the flags and spell stuff out, and you can signal each other with flags. You didn't know that? You know, most of the people that watch my channel, they know that. But yeah, you could signal people with flags. We didn't do that as kids because it was too hard to remember. And it was nerdy. Yeah, if you knew how to signal, you were a nerd. Here, I'll signal. Give me that rock. Hit him upside the head with that rock. And that slingshot. Give me that slingshot. Want to get his attention? Yeah. We can see him walking down the street. He's not answering us. We're going, hey, doofus. And he doesn't answer. Give me that slingshot. It wasn't like, call him up and pretend you're somebody else. See, yeah. And if you want to make a phone call, you got to find a phone. Back in the day, you had to find a phone or go inside. My mom used to ring a bell to let me know that she had made dinner. She didn't always make dinner, but when she did, she'd go outside and she'd ding, 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 ding. I could hear that bell from far away. And it was an actual bell. It wasn't a triangle thing. No, it was a little bell. And for some reason, little bells were common back in the day. Well, I knew why, because, you know, it gets people's attention from far away. You walk into a shop, like a butcher shop or whatever. Basically zero crime. You could walk into a shop and there's nobody there. You're not going to go and start stashing your pockets full of stuff because no one's watching. No, you go up to the counter and you go pick up the little bell and ding, 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 and you set it back down. And you wait for the guy to come out from the back. May I help you? Yeah. Can I have that bell? I just want to mess with people. No. And you used to be able to work for stuff without money. Like if, let's say you wanted, oh gosh, let's say you saw something in the store, an little shop or whatever. You said, you know, you have a bunch of Cokes sitting there in the case, or something, some food. Can I work a little bit and then get something like that? I mean, can I do something for you, like whatever you need done, like load up the truck or load up a car or whatever? You can do work like that and they'll give you food or give you something. You don't work for money. You just work for something else. It was okay. I don't know if I don't know how common that is today, but you could do that. Or if you broke something in the store and the owner got mad, you say, okay, well, just come in tomorrow for a day. You don't have to pay. Just come in tomorrow and help me unload the truck, and then we'll call it good. All right. That kind of thing. I remember that. Now today, people get all bent out of shape when they're talking about wages and stuff. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm trying to thin down a thin piece, and I can't do it when I'm talking about, or I'm trying to remember stuff from my childhood. Oh, yeah, I remember no seatbelts. Oh, I cringe when I remember that. We used to ride in the back of my mom's station wagon. No seatbelts, all the seats down. It was just a flatbed back there. They had folding seats, so I think so, right? I can't remember. But anyway, we used to sit in the back, and when my mom goes around corners, we'd slide. Sliding in the back. And then one day, my littlest sister, sliding back and forth, she got too crazy and it hit her head on the wheel well and hurt herself really bad. She cried all the way home, and we said, okay, we're not going to do that no more. Stuff like that. We got lucky that no one ever fell out a window while we were driving, because there's no AC. Not everyone had AC in the car. We'd drive around with the windows open and sliding around in the back. One of us could have went boop, right out the window. Never happened though. But yeah, I cringe when I think about that, because you take it for granted, all this stuff. Yeah. You take it for granted that you're going to be safe doing this crazy stuff. No, we're too concerned with safety, I think. Way too concerned with it. Yeah, we can be concerned with it, but you start making it a political position. Getting into trouble there. Anyway. I got a flake that's partially detached. See that? That's a flake that didn't quite travel, so I don't know what's going to happen there. Let's see. There it is. Did you see it? I popped it out. Now, I don't like it. I'm going to have to fix it. I have to fix this one too. Yeah, I remember when no one wore helmets to ride motorcycles at first. And then they had helmet laws, and then they repealed the helmet laws. Then I remember 55-mile-an-hour speed limit, and then they repealed that. I remember all these weird things. National 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. Can you imagine that? The entire nation. Highway speed limit 55 in most areas. Not all areas, but most areas. That didn't really affect me that much. Because I didn't have to travel on the highway. When I got my car, it was just neighborhood stuff. I never traveled on the highway when I had my first car that my mom let me use, and then later she gave it to me. Yeah, I didn't drive on the highway, so it didn't really affect me. But I can't even imagine it now. What possessed them to do that? Safety and security. Yeah. Just like teaching people to make arrowheads. Sharp, pointy things that you can cut things with. Yeah, we talk about hunting. Skinning and shooting flesh and bone. Shooting through flesh and bone. Yeah. These things can be used for survival. I'm actually talking more about, or I'm concerned more about survival these days than I was back in the day, where we didn't have lots of technology. We didn't really talk about survival techniques back then very much. Or what would you do if the S hits the fan? Because everyone was just concerned with nuclear stuff, that we wouldn't be around to worry about. What are we going to do when the S hits the fan? Because we'll all be glowing in the dark. Yeah. No need to worry about that stuff. But we all kind of knew how to use a compass and read a map and stuff. Because there was no GPS. Yeah. No GPS. I remember for years when we first started having kids and trying to get around without GPS. With kids yelling in the back. In these brand new car seats. All these regulations coming into effect. All these new car seats. Newfangled car seats. First they were facing forward, then they were facing backwards. Then the airbags became popular and they were killing people, and they had these airbag recalls. The airbags were killing babies. Recall the airbags because it was, you couldn't put the baby in the front seat because these airbags, these newfangled airbags. The safety features weren't safe. Yeah, luckily we never had any accidents. Gosh, that would have been terrible. So we complied with all the airbag stuff, all the car seat stuff. Every time they come up with a new car seat, it was outdated. Got to get the next generation car seat good stuff. And then they had sensors in the seats of the car, so anyone weighing over 60 pounds, you or something like that, the stupid buzzer would go on. What's that noise? Oh, it's that new feature we got, that if the child is sitting in the seat and it's too light, if the child is too light sitting in the seat with a seatbelt, it goes deet 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 deet. Oh, it's too light. You gotta put them in a car seat. I think that was one of the features, right? Something like that was bugging me a lot when it first came out. Anyway. Lots of new gadgets. Yeah, I better stop while I'm ahead, right? This is not going to be good. This Jasper is very pretty, but like I said, the prettiest stuff often is going to give you the most trouble. It gets really steppy when you start to try to thin down a thin piece. Really steppy. Let's see what we got. Ooh, almost an hour. Cool. 2 more minutes. See if I can do this in 2 minutes. Clear off these nasty step fractures. Did I get it? No. Kind of went in between. That was an in-betweener. Let's see. Let's see. Now I'm just crushing the edge. Just leave it. Someone tell me just to leave it so I can move on. Can't hear you. Still can't hear you. That's good enough. Yeah, I'm gonna move on. I like this stuff a lot, but I've got to get used to working it because I can reach my limit on it really fast. I can start installing these if I start to try to thin it down too much because I'm not used to working it. Yeah, if I do flakes that are really bold on it, I have a chance of cracking the whole thing. I can already tell that it's very crackly. If I try to generate big flakes on this that are too big, it will crack. So that's good enough for now. I could put some notches in it, but I never know what to do with the notches at this stage. There's so many options. I don't know what to do. Okay. I'll get back on it tomorrow. Alrighty? Alrighty.